This second part of the button video is try to show you how to add the actions to the buttons, right? We said we do .add action listener, create new action listener, and implement action performed, which is the abstract method of action listener that you need to implement. When you say click, it's going to perform show the option pane message dialog. And say you have just clicked a button. Now how do I add the text to the buttons? Action event take all the action that you place and get the object in the E. So E is having method get source that return the button, but it's return an object type that you have to cast back to JButton. Okay, the reason they do that because they try to polymorphic the objects, because you can click the button, you can click the text box, you can click any other components, then you cast it to the correct one. Now I have an access to JButton which has .getText because JButton has text as an attribute. So let's test this. You have just clicked a button 0. You have just clicked a button 99. See that? Now we can distinguish the action of the user on each location on the screen, right, with the buttons. So I'm going to show you another example from scratch. I'm going to create a GUI from scratch. So pay attention. I'm going to create a program to do a counter with the GUI. So I'm going to say counter GUI. I can create timer, clock, things like that. Okay. So I'm going to create things from scratch. So just watch. I try to get it done in 10 minutes. Alright, so counter GUI. We need the main. Normally I like to get the main out, but in this case it's fine. From scratch, right? So extend J frame. Make a frame first to make the UI, and set I want to create constructor. Make the frame visible. So set visible to true. You can set dimension. Right. Now this one I'm going to make it easy, width and height. Okay. Let's say 50 width and height. So actually width should be bigger, so okay. Set dimension, new dimension. I think it's set size. Okay. If you do set dimension, you have to do new dimension. Set size, you just set size like that, width and height. And yeah, there's an exit on close. I have to borrow a code a little bit on that line of code. Swing demo. Yeah. The set default close operations. Okay. Always forget that one. It's a very long name. Exit on close, when you close the mouse, exit, right? Now, I start to add. So if you design first, I want a layout. Okay. Make the layout new. This time I'm going to use a border layout. Last time I showed you the border. Last time I showed you the flow layout. So I need to set layout to the frame. So set layout and use border layout. Now I need to import. Okay. Now I'm going to add JLabel. I'm going to create JLabel as a counter. I'm going to say private J label. And we need to add buttons J button. Right, import them. Now the label, I'm going to set it to start with new label, and tick is going to be 0. Alright, new J label. And I need a button. It's going to say like new J button. So with the text start the counter. Okay. Now I need to add them. Add the label. Since this is the border layout, you can set the location to north. Border is just like the map or the compass. North is go to the top, south go to the bottom, east to right, west to the left, center is in the middle. So I set that to north, and I'm going to add the button to this layout location to the center. Okay, just like underneath the north with your center. Alright, so we're done with the layout. Now we want to check, see is this what we expected to see. And then we need to prepare for, oh, we didn't call the main. So new counter GUI. So instantiate it, right? And call it constructor. Right? Good. So I'm going to not worry about it. Set fonts, text style. We can do that too. Bigger, center. I want to focus on action listener now. I want to make the button listen to the action when I do hit button dot, right? Add action listener. Like I said, add action listener, you have to create action, right? Action listener, and then write a code, import action listener in, add unimplemented, which is action performed. So now you want to do whatever you need. You want to set the label, right? Dot set text, right? And this text is supposed to be, you're going to increment it from 0, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. You might want to use I, right? And increment it, right? So we're gonna say thread dot sleep. Delay a little bit, otherwise it's going to run very fast CPU speed. You notice it. That the sleep make it 1000 is 1 second. Okay. And then I'm going to say how we going to increase the I plus plus, right? So int I equal to 0. Sleep it. And then I plus plus set text to. Since this is the int, we need to convert it. Copy value of or value of, right? Value of the I convert into string, right? Now you use thread, you need to import and surround with try catch. Alright, we will talk about what's try catch, but at this point just see if it's gonna work. Oh, it's every time, right? I see this is listen, I didn't do the timer. Okay. which actually I thought about timer. That's why I tried with timer. But his question is, I want to create a counter. Then counter, this should be easier than timer. You don't need to worry about this, right? Counter, if you make this valid inside the class, right? So that will take care of everything. If you do, whenever you click, it count how many times you click, right? So that should do. Now, so we done with a counter. If I want to modify this to a timer, let me have another button, stop button. Add the stop button. Then I can start and stop the timer. New JButton. Name it stop. So when it start, it should start a loop. So while when I click stop, I want to know this is a stop, right? How do I know? E.get, right? Remember we talked about E.get source, return the button. I distinct the button now. So if the button equals to stop button, so it's return the JButton. So if it not equals to stop button, then it's going to do all the work. Okay, inside the first button, click it start. So it's going to set the label and increment it, which let's delay it a little bit using thread for 1 second. And of course, when you use thread, we need to do the surrounding. So let's run the program and see what happens. Oh, I didn't add the stop button, huh? But let's see why start doesn't work. I have to add the stop button and add the action listener to stop. Comment the loop first. And yeah, it's going to be a counter then, right? But I'm going to use the loop, but I'm going to set it to true first then. What happened? So always make it to start. Don't worry about stop yet. Because when you hit stop, you have to have its own action perform that. Now I'm going to add the button for the stop button. Alright. So let's make it to... Now this is not a good layout a little bit, but I make it simple first to east. Okay, we can actually match between different layout. So, and add the action listener to stop. Let's see if it can start first before we can stop.